Hello everyone, I am Rajeshwari, Application Engineer. So welcome you all for this webinar, Altium Designer 21, a better way to design. Okay, in this webinar, we are going to focus on the functionalities and the enhancements of the Altium Designer based on the feedback from the customers. Okay, so it also improvises in the rigid flex design, both in 2D and the 3D view. Also, there is a much more improvements in Altium 365 based on the collaboration with the users. Okay, so now we are going to see the topics today's webinar. So the first one is SPICE simulation. So the SPICE simulation, the target has been started in Altium Designer 20 itself. Okay, so now there are lots of improvements by implementing the simulation dashboard, and then we can analyze the data, link the data from the component panel itself. Okay, then second topic will be your rigid flex design. So here it advances your board shape design. Okay, so previously you were having your board design is like rigid and flex combined, but now we can independently select the rigid region and the flex region and edit it off now. Okay, so we are going to see it in detail. The third topic is high-speed design capabilities for the length tuning. Okay, so now we have introduced two more tunings here, like trombone and sawtooth tuning. So next topic is the schematic improvements, and finally we are going to see about the Altium 365 improvements based on the collaboration with the users. Okay, so first topic we will go for the simulation, SPICE simulation, which has a great improvements in Altium Designer 21. So here we have introduced the simulation dashboard, and this simulation dashboard it is very easy to understand and learn because it is following a step-by-step process. First to link the model, then you can analyze the model, like finding out the error validation of the model. Then we can analyze it, and then we can verify the results. Okay, so if you want to see the results is not good, you can replace the model immediately. Okay, all these can be done under the simulation dashboard itself. Also now you can import your LT Spice based on your import wizard itself. Okay, this is the improvised version we have in Altium Designer 21. Okay, so next, if you are going to see about your simulation dashboard, in this is very comfortable to work with. Why? Because we can add in your voltage source or the current source in your model circuit. Okay, so you can add them, or you can add the probes. Okay, current probes or voltage probes, you can add it in the design so that you can verify the data directly through the probe. Okay, so the probe is to analyze your simulation data or the net name, or you can give the trace color for the probes, which gives you the results every time. Okay, now you can analyze it and see the results based on the probe color itself. So what happens, because of this, you no need to do the physical testing of your model every time. Okay, so you can easily review your previous simulation and compare with the new simulation results. That is a very good advantage we have in the simulation dashboard. Also, if you want to delete your previous result and load the new profile, you can load. So every time you can do it very fast, and then you can analyze the results, okay, with different models. So these things can be done within the simulation dashboard itself. So next one is comprehensive model support. So this one is, we now in Altium Designer, we have more models to be supported. Okay, so we have more models like your analog PSpice, LT Spice, then digital Spice, all are supported inside the Altium Designer 21. For you now, these models are also available inside your components panel. Okay, these models available from Texas Instruments and then Microchip. They provide the models for us, as well as these models are under the extension of .lib files. Okay, it is available inside your component panel itself. So now you can take the models directly from your simulation dashboard, and then you can link the models with your schematic symbols. Okay, if the pins are not mapping, we can map the pins inside your simulation model. Based on the models, you can rearrange them. Okay, then you can use the models for simulation. Later, it's very easy for you to change the model to a normal generic component and push to PCB for further design analysis. Okay, you can do this inside your model support. Also, we can now, if you see, the SPICE 3, full SPICE 3 is also supported inside the Altium Designer. Okay, so we will just go for the demonstration about this SPICE simulation inside the software. So let me open the software here. I am using a Hartley oscillator circuit. Okay, so in this circuit, I have the models here. So I'm going to open my simulation dashboard. So under the simulate, you will see the simulation dashboard here. So please remember, if you want to have the simulation inside your Altium Designer, you have to go for extension and updates, and then you have to download this simulation, mixed simulation. Then only you will be able to see the simulate button inside your menu bar. Okay, so now I have downloaded it and I placed it here. So I'm just going to open the simulation dashboard. So first step is you have to follow these steps. This is called the step-by-step guide to work inside the simulation dashboard. So first we have to start the verification. So when I click start verification, it will show you all the simulation models. Okay, these components are with the without the simulation models. So I need to add the simulation models. So for now, as of in Altium Designer 21, inside the component panel, if you see, there will be generic simulation models are given to you. So you can see it here. Okay, it is default available inside your component panel. So now I'm going to here assign the models directly to my components. Okay, so just click on assign button. It will automatically assign for you and you need to update it. Okay, so I just click to update. So the models are updated for my design. But if you see for my J2, the model is not assigned. Okay, so I need to manually assign the model for J2. So I just click on the model. So once you click, you will see this simulation model dialog box. Here you can get the model for this J2 from the server, or you can take it from your local PC, or it's a generic or Octopad. So if you click to Octopad, you can browse to take it from your manufacturer part search. So from the manufacturer part search, you can choose the component and then you can add the model there. So now I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take the model from the local. Okay, so when I click local and browse, you will see that it will automatically connect to my component panel. Okay, so it connects to my component panel and then I can choose the components here. Okay, these are the components of .lib file here. So I'm just going to choose one of the components here. Okay, so I'm just choosing, for example, this component. Okay, so here J2N 3824. So just for example, I choose that model. Automatically, you will see there is a pin mapping. So the pin, this is your schematic symbol and this is the model pin. So they will automatically, they will do the mapping between the pins. Okay, then followed by on the right hand side, you can see the parameters listing of that particular model. So all the informations you can see for the model. Then coming to the model file, you will see the model file for all the models. Whatever the models we have seen for the JFET, all you can see the models here. Okay, the model files, you can refer it here. So once you're okay with this, we have got the model, and then I'm just going to click OK, add this model. Okay, so click OK to add. So once it is done, every time if you do any changes, you need to update it. Okay, that's very important. So let me update here first. So once I updated, you can see the where ERC check is done, then the simulation model is added. Okay, then the preparation, you can see under preparation, if you want to add any voltage source or the probe, you can add. If you want to add the probe, you can right click here and you can add the voltage probe, current probe, all this. So the purpose of adding the probe is to validate your simulation data, or to put the net name, or you can give the trace colors by placing the probe. Okay, why we are adding the probe data is to have to see the results when you do for the next simulation. The previous results can be reviewed every time when you do the next simulation, and then you can compare it. Okay, so the probes will show all the results data inside your design. Okay, now I go for the analysis setup. So under analysis setup, we have different like operating point, DC sweep, all this here. So if you want to run your operating point, you can select whether you want to run based on your voltage, current or power. So let me choose the voltage and you can run the simulation here. So when you run the simulation, automatically you will see your SDF file opens with your output at net C1-1 and the voltage value. Okay, so you can run based on your voltage here, as well as once you run that, you will see the voltage at different points here. Okay, so the voltage values at different points can be verified. So a similar way you can run your DC sweep. So to run your DC sweep, you can just go to see it starting from 1 to 10, the stepwise is 1. And if you run the DC sweep, you can see the analysis of the DC sweeps, the step 1 to 10, the output voltage you can refer here. Okay, so similar way you can do the transient analysis also. So transient analysis, it varies from 0 to 1 milliamps, and then you can go for the transient analysis, just run here. So you will see the output. Okay, the waveforms like this you will see here. Okay, time versus the voltage. So you will get the different waveforms based on the different analysis. Okay, and simulation analysis, you will see all the output values. So next, if you go for the last one is your AC sweep. So in AC sweep, for example, you have the noise analysis, temperature sweep, then sweep, and the Monte Carlo. You have so many things. Then if you want to have some advanced settings, you can just click here. So you will see the advanced settings, you can set it off here for your analysis, simulation analysis. For my case now, I'm just going to do only the sweep. So if you see here, when I select the sweep, automatically the verification is not up to date. So if you do any changes in the default settings, you need to update it. That's very, very important. So once you update it, it is done. Then now you can run the sweep. Okay, so when you run the sweep, you will see the waveforms here. So based on this, you can open your simulation data panel to see all the informations. Okay, so you will have the, based on the 10 sweeps, you have the 10 outputs inside your SDF file. So here, once you review all the results, review all the analysis, finally you have to go for the results. So under the results, if you go for the 3 dot, you will be able to see show results, load profile, and the delete. So show results will automatically, for example, if I click for the operating point show results, it will take me to that particular simulation page. Okay, simulation output data page. Then if I go for again AC analysis, if I click here, I want to show the results, it will take me there. Then load profile. Load profile is to, if you want to add any new profile data, new input you want to give, you can just go for load profile. Or if you want to delete your results, you can delete your results. Okay, so these things can be done under your simulation dashboard itself, all in one place. Okay, very much important. So now we'll go for the next feature. So the next feature is about your rigid flex design. Okay, so in rigid flex design is in the global market. Now the rigid flex design is of 3.83 billions growing. It is the growing rate. Okay, so what happened? Most of the healthcare industries and high-speed consumer electronics all are using rigid flex materials in their design. Okay, so now there are much improvements have been done inside our Altium Designer based on the board shape design. Okay, so if you go to your board planning mode, now you can individually select each region, or you can draw your own board region. Okay, so each board region you can draw, and then you can independently, each region will have the own layer stack up also. Okay, so now you can also individually edit each region. Previously in the earlier versions, if you see, when you have the whole board region, you cannot split your rigid region and the flex region. But now in the new version, you can just split them. Okay, split them, you can edit them, and then you can also place the bending lines wherever you want. Previously it will be it was able to place only at the centers, not at the edge, but now in Altium Designer 21 you can place the bending lines at the edges of your board or at the cutout of the board. Okay, anywhere you can place the bending lines. And also once you define your board shape, you can also edit your bending lines. Okay, so this can be done. Then based on the layer stack manager, so when we define your rigid region and the flex region, each have the individual stack up. So now the new feature is we can add the stiffener or stiffener layer along with your rigid layer, rigid region. Also you can add your adhesive layers to the flex stack up. Okay, so what is the purpose is when you add the stiffener, it increases the thickness of the rigid flex, and also it increases the strength of the material. Okay, it gives more strength to the rigid regions. Adhesive layers, if you add, it gives more multiple layer stacks. It is more strength and it is more powerful when you go for the flex stack up. Also in the also in the layer stack manager, if you want to edit any layer, you can edit the predefined material of that particular layer from the material library. So what happens, the impedance profile of the material as well as the dielectric constants will be automatically updated when you choose the material. Okay, so we will see this inside our software now. So let me open the software. We will go for this file, stiffener. Okay, so here let me go for the board planning mode. So in this mode, first let me select the region. You see, I can individually select one region. When I double click, it will open the properties panel. So meaning I can see the board region properties now with the name and the what layer stack is used for that particular region and the priority of that particular board region. So if I select the second one, you will see the name, the layer stack, what layer stack is used and what is the priority of that region. Then again I choose this, for example, choose this region. Then you will see it is the name and then the layer stack, what layer stack is used and the priority. If suppose I want to change the color of this board region, you can just click the color to change any colors what you want to change. So for example, I want to change to the color, so I can change this color. Okay, so now if you see here, these two regions, if you click this and if I click this region, they overlap each other. Okay, so if I want to split them, I can individually split them. Okay, so if to split them, first I will go to the properties here and choose the board shape. Okay, so once I choose here, you can see here, let me select this center point and drag. Okay, once I select and drag it, you can see the green color circle. Okay, it touches the end point, so it automatically you can leave it here, and then the board region is adjusted here. Okay, so now you can select the region. If you see, they are independent of each other. This was not incredibly not available in the previous versions, but now you can see all these new features in this rigid flex design. So now I'll go for the board layer stack manager to show you the how to add stiffener or adhesive layer. So once you open, you will see the different layer stack up. So this is my rigid stack. Then when I go to F1, you will see the flex stack up here, F1, followed by you can see the layer stack manager properties. If your stack up is a flex stack up, then you can check box here in the layer stack. Okay, that it is a flex layer stack. Then you can also go for the next one is R2 plus stiffener. If you want to add the stiffener layer, you can just click the add button here. So followed by you can able to add the stiffener here. Okay, so stiffener can be added above or below. So you can just click add the stiffener. So it will be added here. Okay, then if you want to edit the properties of the layer, so when I click on the layer and I want to just edit the properties of this layer, so for example I click on this, so you will see the properties of this. Okay, so properties will give you, will able to change the overall properties of the particular layer with respect to your dielectric constant as well as your impedance profile values. So all will be changed based on the layer selection. Okay, so you can do this here. Okay, so now we will go for the next example I want to show you is, once we have done this, we can go for this, yeah, draftsman. So draftsman, when you are having the layer stack up, we can just show to your colleagues or to your manufacturer about your layer stack up, build up of your layer stack up like R1, F1. And if you are using stiffener, you want to show that material to the manufacturer, you can place individually the layer stacks so that all the properties of the layer stack can be visible to them. So they will be, as a documentation, they will be knowing more details about your board. Okay, then if you go for the overlap, okay, in this example, I have a board with the more connectors here. Let me go for one. Here you have so many overlapped regions here. Okay, so many overlapped regions. When I just double click on this, you will see so many regions. I have F1 region, F2 region, F3, so many regions are there. So if I click on one of the regions, that particular region will be highlighted. So you will see the properties of that region and the layer stack of that region, what layer stack is used for that region, and the priority of that layer. Okay, so next I just want to click one more, click on this F's, another layer. Okay, so I just double click on this, you will see F6 layer. So they based on that, you can see the priority level here. So very much important, the priority level, since there are more layers are overlapped, the priority of selection for this region will depend upon the highest priority number. For example, if any one region has the priority number of 5 or 6 higher priority, that has the highest priority for bending of the regions, all this. But sometimes if you see, the regions will have the same priority. For example, my F5 and S7 have the same priority of 0. Then the priority depends upon the number of layer stacks of the region. If F5 is having 6 layer stack and F7 is having 8 layer stack, so the region with the more number of layer stack will get the highest priority of bending lines. Okay, so here you can see, when I click on this bending line, you will see the stack region properties here. So the bending line, it's connected to which layer stack, you can see it here. Okay, so selection of the bending lines, it will give you the more information about the layer stack to which it is connected. You can see all this information. Now this features is not available on the earlier versions. So the bend lines all available in the new versions of Altium Designer 21. And let me go for the 3D view, and then I want to just to show you, let me bend this and then press 5. So you can see how nicely your board is bent here. So based on the bending lines, you will see this region is the overlapping region, and then based on that, you can see the nice bending of each regions of your board. Okay, so this is possible based on the bending lines as well as the priority of the regions. So based on the priority, which has the highest number of priority, will go first. Okay, so this is about your overlapped regions. Then when you go for the lift off sample, in this example, I would like to show you how there is overlapping your rigid region inside the flex region. Okay, so when I double click on this region, you can see here, this is your name is R1 rigid region following the rigid layer stack. But if I click inside, you can see there is one more here, F3 region. So this F3 region is the flex 2 region, which is inside the rigid region. Okay, and also you can see it is having the priority of 5. So highest priority. So when I fold it in the 3D view, it gives the more priority for bending. Okay, so now I click here, you will see there is a nice cutout here around this flex. The flex region is rectangular and it has a nice cutout here, followed by it does the bending, it does the folded based on the priority level. So when you come to the other side, you can also see here same thing. When I click, I can choose this R5 is the big region. Then when I just want to choose this smaller area and see, let me go for R4. So it choose the inner rectangle. Then I want to choose the whole board, I can go for F30. So it gives you the information about this big region and the layer stack used and the priority level. Okay, so the advantage of here, what you can do, you can extend your flex board. This is also new feature available only in 21. So for example, now I have this region, I want to extend it outside to the certain level. So you can extend the board. Please remember, when you extend, the bend line will not break or will not happen anything. Okay, the bend line will not be affected. Okay, so you can extend it. So once we have done, now you want to see it in the 3D view, you can press 3. So press 3 and then you can just press 5 to see. So you can see how folded it is, how nicely it is bent, and then you can see the flex material and the rigid material here. Okay, the rigid materials, the stiffener materials are added so that it gives you the strengths to your board. You can see how nicely it is placed in this here based on the materials. The flex region is bent based on the priority level, and then again if I press 5, they will close. Now you will be able to see the board extended here as well as, sorry, you can see the materials of the board in the both in the rigid region as well as the flex region. And here you can see how they are overlapped in the front, like here you can see how nicely it is overlapped here, your flex region inside your rigid region. Okay, so this is about your rigid flex. Then we'll go for the next topic. So next topic is about your high-speed design capabilities. So here in this high-speed design, the main thing is switching rise time and the fall time, okay, is very faster. So due to that, what happened, shorter time will give you the make the design more critical. Okay, so the time period is very short and the design becomes more critical. So to avoid this, we are going for the length tuning by adding the accordions. So the accordions, if you now there is an improvised feature in the accordions in Altium Designer 21. So what is the improvement is, previously in the up to version Altium Designer 20, when the objects are too close, okay, objects are too close, this accordion is very hard to adjust. Okay, hard to move and adjust. But now there is a feature, you can rotate the accordion inside the software. So when you rotate based on the objects, the angle of rotation, it will measure the length tuning. Okay, it will measure the length of the trace. So you can do it inside the Altium now. Then the new introduction of the tuning is trombone and the sawtooth tuning. So for low frequency and low speed applications, you can use the trombone. So trombone tuning is similar like accordion, which slides at the corner and it bends at an angle of both 90 degree and 180 degree. So what happens, it reduces your impedance discontinuities here, since it is going at the right angles. Then the main thing is, your accordion and the trombone are more or less similar, but the only difference, if you see, this accordion will give you tight coupling with your length of the trace than your trombone. Okay, then if you go for this sawtooth tuning, wherever you cannot use this accordion or you cannot use the trombone, you can use this sawtooth tuning. So why is, when your objects are so close, you can go for this sawtooth tuning. This sawtooth tuning, the corners are not smooth. It's very, very important. Its corners are not smooth. So what happened, it's a sharp bend here. So it can be used only when you cannot use your trombone or your accordion based on the application wise. Okay, but when you use the sawtooth, it can be adjusted based on your diameters and based on your length, height, all these can be adjusted here. So when the objects are too close, you have to use this sawtooth tuning. This can be done for both your single tuning and the differential pair. So next up in the PCB editor improvements, we also have the differential pair dragging. So when you drag your differential pair differential pair nets, so automatically the pads and wires will be adjusted and moved together. So you can like a coupled differential pair nets, you can move away, or you can single nets, you can adjust it also. Okay, we will see it in the demo. So next one is about your design rule improvements. So in the design rules in the previous version, if you see, first you have to set the rule type. It's very important. Based on the rule type, then you have to set the design object, what you're going to set the rule. For example, if you are choosing width rule, then you have to select the nets for the for applying the width rule. This is in the previous version. But now in the new version, the improvisation is we have the document default. So in the dialog box, if you see, you can select the design object directly. And based on that, you can set all the design rules. Okay, so based on the design object, you can set the design rules, you can edit the design rules, and you can validate the design rules. Okay, you can see all in one place. This is the improvised version. But if you are not more familiar, you can also use your earlier version also. Okay, let me show you the demonstration. So I will go for the file. So first we are going to see about the accordion, how to use it. So let me go for the length tuning here. So I just go for accordion. Let me click here. You can see I choose accordion first, then I try to place it here. So you can see here the tuning can be done, the length tuning based on the accordion. If you want to increase or decrease the tuning size, you can press 3 or 4 in your keyboard. So you can then also you can change the shape of your meters. You can use your space bar to change the shapes. Okay, so then you can use this 2 or 3 to adjust the size. Then you can see it comes to the corner also. Okay, so once it is done, you can just place it here. Then now if your objects are so close, I want to rotate it. So what you can do is you can hold the control key and then you can left click on the accordion and then drag it. You see, when I left click and drag, it will be adjusted according to the length. Okay, the Mendel length of the trace will be automatically adjusted based on the objects nearby. So this can be done now inside the Altium Designer 21. So now I want to go for the next tuning. So that is your trombone tuning here. So I just press tab. So change to the trombone. So trombone I change and then start doing here. You can see. So you can see the shape, the trombone shape, it follows in both the sides. Okay, so if you move here, you can move on both the sides with the positive and negative value. And if you want to edit it, you can press the tab button. You will see the properties here. So under the properties, if you want to have the trombone, the style, you can choose the style, or you want single side, you can choose single side. When you choose single side, the trombone will be available either one side only. You can see it is positive side, or it will be available in the negative side. It will not be available both in positive and negative. So you need to choose the side, which one you want. Okay, so let me change this single side again, and then I just try to place it here. Okay, so then you can adjust your trombone, you can just drag it, and then you can move it here. So how you want to move, you can just move it off. Okay. Okay, you can move it off. So this is about your trombone tuning. Then I'm just going to place the last one is your sawtooth tuning. So sawtooth tuning, you can go for sawtooth here, and then you can see the angle of what angle you want the sawtooth. You have to mention. For example, I want 75. Okay, I just mentioned 75, and then I change the tool width to be 0.15. And then the height is 1 mm. So just I follow this. If you want to have a single side, you can also choose single side or fixed size. Then you can press the tab. You can just start drawing here. You can see here. Now it is in the both the sides. It's not single side. So it is in the both the sides. You can have the tuning. Okay. If I want to change it to single side, I can go, I want single side. So then I can press. So you will see you will have the single side only. Okay, so this is about your sawtooth tuning we can have inside your Altium Designer. Okay, then followed by if I want to have the adjustments in your differential pad. As I told you, the PCB editor, the differential pair adjustments, when I drag it, it will adjust according to the pads and wires. So for example, if I left click on this and drag, you see, they will be adjusted accordingly. You can see the other nets. So it is very neat and clean as of the movements of the differential pair nets. Okay, it's a coupled nets moved together so that the wires are adjusted here accordingly and they are dragged. Okay, so you can do this here, but when you're doing it, please remember you want to do with the single net. I don't want to do with the dual net. You can press the tab. You see here it is keep coupled, but I want to do only for one differential pair net. I don't want with the other net. So at that time you can uncheck here. So uncheck and then you can check, press the pass button. You see it will automatically bring only one net from it. Okay, this is, you can just change it and do it inside your properties panel under your interactive sliding. Okay, so once you select it, this properties panel will automatically pop up for you to do the adjustments of this differential pair nets. Okay, so now we go for the next topic. So the next topic will be about your schematic improvements. So in the schematic improvements, we are going to see about how the connector nets are connected from one sheet to the another sheet. It's more easy to identify. Previously, if you see, if you want to see the nets, how they are connected from one sheet to the another sheet, you have to go to that sheet and then you have to check for the nets. It's very tedious process. But now we have an option of pressing your Control Alt key, so that automatically when you move to the particular of connector net, it will show you the net which to what are all the sheets the particular net is connected. For example, if I go to this off connector, it is automatically showing the net is connected to what are all the other sheets. Okay, so then when you want, if you want to see in the particular sheet, you have to click on the sheet. So automatically it will take you to that sheet and it will highlight only that particular net what you want to see. So it will show the physical and logical net names. Okay, so it's very easy to see now. So then next, generic components. Okay, if you want to add any generic components to your design, if your design is a draft design and you want to add the generic component, you can take the components from Altium 365 and then additional parameters and then the properties of the model all will be coming along with the component to your design. You can see it here. So all the properties will follow. So later, when your design is too big, okay, and you want to change the component, you can replace the component again from your Altium 365. Okay, automatically that particular component will be replaced by the original new component, new schematic symbol, additional properties, all will be replaced. You can do this way. It's very quick and fast. And then you can update to your PCB also. You can do this way, or you can select certain components in the schematic and you can edit or change the parameters of the component directly in your ActiveBOM also. Okay, you can select it and you can edit it through ActiveBOM. Okay, so then you can also do the pin to pad mapping. So this pin to pad mapping is a very, very important feature we have in Altium schematic side. So here we have the mapping for the single pin to multiple pads. For example, if you see this pin, it is connected to the multiple pads of 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this mapping are done inside your library under your pin panel. Okay, so pin mapping. So you have to go for the pin mapping there. Inside pin mapping, you have to assign. Okay, for the particular pin, what are all the pads you want to assign, you can assign it. Okay, that particular pads. So automatically when you're placing the symbol inside your schematic, followed by the footprint, it will be showing the pin details. Okay, it is very easily, then it can be easily synchronized to your PCB. And then when you do the cross probing, it will link the particular, when you select the particular pin, it will automatically link to the PCB, that particular pads. Okay, you are using only one pin, but it will automatically link to all the pads in PCB when you do the cross probing. Okay, also it is very easy to identify and do the pin and part swapping also. Okay, this is about your pin to pad swapping. So let us see this in the software. So I will just open this example first. So let me open this. Okay, now in this sheet, I have some ports here. If I want to see the nets, the ports connected to the other sheets, I just hold the alternate and the control key, Alt and the control key. When I move my mouse to this, you see SDIO. Let me move it a little bit down. When I move my mouse to this USB V bus, so automatically it is showing the two sheets. This is my original sheet, and then it is connected to this sheet. So I need to click on this sheet. When I click on this sheet, you can see it is taking me to that particular sheet, to that power port. Okay, and the net connected to it. So whereas only that particular net and the port is highlighted with the physical name and the logical name, whereas the other things are not highlighted. Okay, so this is one of the more comfortable and the easy method. You can see it now inside your Altium Designer. Similar way, if you want to choose some other nets also, you can try to choose it and see how it works. For example, RC input, hold the alternate and the control key. I go for this RC input. So it is available in CPU as well as the second sheet. No need to have this sheet to be open. Even though it is closed, I just click on this sheet, automatically the sheet will open and highlight for me RC input. Okay, so that you can verify the net whether it is properly placed in that particular sheet or not. Okay, so this is one of the feature. Then next one is we are going to see about how to place the generic components. So to place the generic components, you can go for your component panel. So inside component panel, I want to place one of the component, for example, under this, let me choose the resistor here, resistors. Okay, I choose one resistor here, try to place it here. Okay, so try to place the resistor here. So right click, come out of it. If I want to see the properties, I can open the generic component. This I placed for the draft design, for example. And then you can see the properties here. The component is from my Altium 365. The source is my library. And then you can see the footprint, all the information here. But if I want to change the component, I can change it directly here for individual component. But if I want to place more components and then change it. For example, let me copy this here. Okay, I just copy and place it here. Okay. Okay, let me choose this. Right click, align, and then horizontal centers. Okay, for example, I just little bit move up. Little bit down. Okay, so once I placed it, let me annotate these components for this sheet. So I go to tools, annotate, and then annotate schematic quietly. So 5 designators required annotation, so I just do the annotation. So once it is done, instead of changing, this is mainly to do certain components changing of the model. So what I'm going to do, I just go for the active bomb sheet for this. Okay, so go for the active bomb here, and inside the active bomb you can see that this details. Okay, you will see all the information here. Now you see there is the component here. Once I selected, you will see the R31, 32, R33, 5 components have been come here. So it automatically selects the manufacturer, all the details. If you want to change it, for example, if sometimes it may not have the manufacturer details, all this. So at that time you have to change by just right click on the component, and then you can go to the operations and change resistor. Okay, if you want to change that, you can go for change resistor, and then it will go for your server to get some other component, what component you want. So for example, I want to choose some other resistor 1K. So it automatically, when you change the component, it will do the validation. It's very, very important. When you change the component, it will do the validation for you, and then only it will place it. So execute the changes. So once it is done, you can close. So now you will see the component manufacturer part number, life cycle, all the details of that particular component will be updated. Okay, so you can easily change the components from the active bomb itself. Okay, then if you go for this your sheet again to do the pin mapping. Okay, I just show you how to do the pin mapping here. Go to the component and then let me delete this. Go for miscellaneous devices. For example, I will choose a component. Okay, so let me choose one component here. So for example, I'm going to place a diode here. So on the diodes, I will just place it with the numbers. So here you can see the pin mapping for this component here. I just place the three here. Okay, let me select this and then align it, align left. Okay, so once aligned, now you can see when I double click on the component here, and then if you go to the properties panel, you will see the footprints here. It has three different footprints. If I want to change the footprints, I can choose the footprint here. So when I click to change, so automatically the pin mapping changes. Okay, so again, if I choose the second one, same way, go to the properties panel and then I choose some other footprint. So it will change with the mapping. You can see the mapping here. So 1 and 2 is mapped to pin 1 and the third pin is in the output side. Same I do for the last one. It is already 2, 3, comma, the output is pin 1. So you can do the mapping and it will be updated to the PCB, and you can do the cross probing to identify one pin with the multiple pads inside your PCB. So you can do the pin part swapping also more easier now. Okay, so this is about your generic component improvements. Then next, if you go for the last topic, is about your Altium 365. So Altium 365 is about your project history. Now the very new feature and a very good feature is we have the version control history. Okay, it is connected to the version control, your Altium 365. So what happens when you can also see who is doing what, when, and why. Okay, so it gives you the design timeline, like you can see the release of your project in your project history, and then you can see who is committed to the project, and then who did the changes to the project. All the informations you can refer, the nets or the components, whatever the changes are done, all the informations you can see here. Also, when you see here, you will also know who are all involved in the same project. Okay, then you can, if you want to revert the changes, for example, your colleague has changed the project and then you don't want to accept it, so you can revert the changes. That is, you can go for the previous version. Okay, so also when you do the snapshot, you can do the snapshot so that you will have the duplicate of your original project and you can send the project to your manufacturer or your colleague, somebody. Okay, all these can be done in Altium 365 now. Also, you can do the do automatic file locking. So why? Because it is under version control. So when it is when the collaborate users are working on the same project, it prevents the conflicts from one user and the other user, and it gives the notification to the collaborators telling that there is this user is editing the project. Okay, and it locks for them. But still, if the user wants to break the locking and then do, this information will also be given to the other collaborator users. Okay, so this is done inside Altium 365. Then last is nothing but about your assign the comments. So you can assign the comments when you do. Previously, we know we can place the comments for your design, so that in the Altium 365, the manufacturer, anybody can see the comment and reply the comment. But now you can place the comment, you can assign the comment to whom you want to send it. Okay, so the particular person will receive email, as well as they can see immediately in the Altium 365 what is the comment and they can reply you. Okay, so they can do the freehand drawings to apply the comment, and they can now resolve and unresolve the comments. They can filter and show inside the Altium Designer. Okay, so these are all the improvements. So if I go to the software, for my case, I just have a project here. So here I just right click on this to show you the history. So history will give you the version control status. Normally, if you make your project online, when you're making your project to be online, automatically it will ask you to enable to version control. Okay, so it will ask you to enable version control. If your group members want to work together on the project inside server, you can enable the version control. If you did not enable version control, you will not be inside the version control history. then you cannot see the editing of the other persons. You will not be under locking of your file, all this. So you should enable the format of version control to see all these informations. Okay, so under the project history, you can see here who are all edited the project, what the changes they have done, the two components, nets, and then the files, what are the date, the time, all the informations you can see it here. Followed by, if you click on one of this dotted lines, you can also open snapshot. So why you need to open snapshot is, once your project is released to the server, and then you pass your project to the manufacturer. So to have the duplicate copy of that project, of the design, you can go for open snapshot. So it will automatically create your duplicate of the project, which you can place it in your local PC so that you can compare it when there is any changes to the original project. So that is the purpose of open snapshot. And revert to. Revert to is to, if I don't want this design, the changes done by this colleague is not acceptable, I don't want these changes, so I want to go to my previous version, I can just revert to the previous version. Okay, so previous revision of the project will be displayed by overcoming all this. Okay, so now if I go inside this here, see, since my project is under version control, I can see here all is out of date. There is something out of date. So I want to see what is this out of date. So I need to compare and see. So to see out of date, I just go to version control and then compare with header. Okay, that is main project. I want to compare with the main project to see what is the difference. So what happens, this is my project, I didn't save to server. So you can see this is from the main project. So the main project, there is a capacitor and the supply and the ground, but my sub project, I don't have that. So it shows the differences here. Okay, so the differences are visible now. You can see there is no part, all these informations are now visible here. Okay, so you can see what are all the differences. And when you're under conflict also, you can see the differences. If you want to accept, you can accept it, or you can just go for the revert to previous revision and you can use your original projects. Okay, so later if you want to edit your comments, for example, I want to see the comments here on my design. So you can just see here, let me close this. Here you can see there is a comment. Now the comments are given by the numbers. If you click on the comment, it will be shown here. So previously I asked to check the capacitor to my colleague here. Okay, so I am just sending the comment by assigning to my colleague. Okay, so my colleague will be receiving the email, as well as she can see it in the Altium 365. What is the comment? And then she can also edit and reply to me in the Altium 365. For example, you see the comment here. So she has edited and then she also given me some messages. Okay, so this is her file in the server. We have original file. You can see it, she having the component. Okay, so this is how you can do the changes in Altium 365. I think I finished. So thank you very much for attending. If you have any questions, you can type in the chat panel so that I can answer your questions now.